Hello, everyone. Coming up here on the Pro Wrestling Show. What a pro wrestling show we have for you coming up. The WWE Draft continues and ends on Raw. As you see right here, we'll talk about the draft coming up. We'll talk about this a huge six-man tag team match with main event Jey Uso, who's the number one draft pick on Raw, teaming up with SmackDown's newest superstar Andrade, who's been drafted to SmackDown. And Ricochet stays on Raw against the Judgment Day. Damian Priest leading the pack here coming up. We'll talk about that huge six-man tag team match. As well as the WWE Draft continues as the two superstars that are eligible. There's a list of superstars including CM Punk. Name a few. They're all going to be in this draft. Drew McIntyre. Oh, speaking of that, speaking of champions, the reigning United States champion Logan Paul comes to Raw for one night only. Logan Paul decides to bring in a Super Bowl recent champion, the most popular quarterback of all time, Patrick Mahomes, joins Logan Paul in his prime mission. Won't believe what Patrick Mahomes did tonight. It caused a lot of chaos with a lot of people. You won't believe that coming up. Also, too, the Women's World Champion, the new Women's World Champion, Becky Lynch. We hear from Becky Lynch tonight. What Becky Lynch has in store for a lot on the Raw roster. As, we know her and Liv Morgan might be feuding down the road sooner rather than later. We'll get that. Plus, too, Big Bronson Reed will be in action against the Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn in an Intercontinental Championship match. How would that go? Coming up. All this and more when the Raw report here on the Pro Wrestling Show starts right now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this special WWE Draft edition of the Pro Wrestling Show. I'm your host, as always, Kendra Dix here. Glad you can join us here on the Pro Wrestling Show. Join in the conversation using the hashtag Pro Wrestling. And don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe and share. Tell a friend, call a friend. Hit that subscribe button so you won't miss a thing. All right. Also, too, and we'll talk about in wrestling hot topics as well. Darby Allin, AEW star, got ran over by a bus. This is the Effects of Darby show. We'll talk about that as well. And also, too, AEW star Kenny Omega, who's scheduled to be on Dynamite this week, said a lot of good, flattering things about former Universal Champion Roman Reigns. And, too, WWE is expecting, and Peacock expecting an increase. With yours truly, might have to pay a little bit more for this Peacock subscription. We'll talk about that. But let's not waste no time. Let's talk about this, the draft. As you see right here, the United States champion, Logan Paul, with Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes, that was in Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes decided to make a beeline what he Logan Paul's agenda was. We didn't know what his agenda was. And Logan Paul showed up. But we'll talk about a little bit later on what went down later on in the show. With Patrick Mahomes showing his face tonight. But we'll talk about that. Well, we could talk about it. Let's go and talk about it. Well, main event Jey Uso got called out by the United States champion Logan Paul. Logan Paul saying that that Jey made the crucial bad mistake of not staying in the bloodline, but Logan had wars with the bloodline with Roman and it was kind of weird. Logan Paul saying that Logan Paul will stay on SmackDown. I don't know why he made reappear so Raw. With no sense, but Logan Paul came because the sponsorship deals and stuff like that. Well, main event Jey Uso came out there, and main event Jey Uso came out there to deliver what he thought, but he brought out Braun Strowman. We tell you this, Braun Strowman. I'll say this about Braun. Braun knows how to make an entrance. Braun came out there and Braun made his entrance all right. Braun came out there and got in the face of Patrick Mahomes, and Patrick Mahomes was not intimidated. I mean, this was something that you really would not expect. This is like a ESPN Sports Center moment. You know it's gonna be on Sports Center sooner, so they had to capitalize on that. But Braun Strowman ain't afraid of Logan Paul or Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes like he ain't afraid of Braun Strowman. I mean, they were just kind of out of nowhere, out of place. But who knows how this is going to go? But Logan Paul tried to take down Jey Uso. The gentleman that came out there and tried to help Logan. And Logan was supposed to take those rings that Patrick Mahomes had gave him. And Patrick Mahomes, I don't even know why would Patrick Mahomes give his Super Bowl rings. Them are like, to me, the precious. I feel like that's his precious stuff. You wouldn't want to get your precious stuff away and use it for for that. And he got knocked down. So I don't know why Patrick Mahomes, good guest star, now Raw 3-time Super Bowl champion. So Patrick Mahomes gave out his stuff. So we'll see how this is gonna go for Patrick Mahomes down the road. But speaking of Braun, Braun got drafted tonight. Braun drafted to Raw. Braun's taking his talents to Monday Night Raw. A lot of stars taking their talents to Raw. It's Imperium. They got rid of the dead meat. They cut out the cancer. Giovanni Vinci to them. You see, Gunther, the longest reigning Intercontinental Champion, Gunther declared himself into the King of Ring, as well as Kaiser, a two-time NXT champion. Jade Cargill will be joining SmackDown. She'll stay on SmackDown. She just recently got signed to SmackDown, a generational talent. She stayed. She made a debut at the Royal Rumble earlier this year, as well as the NACA division star. Jade Cargill stays where she's in tow. Also, too, Dakota Damage Control. They will stay. They will be moving from SmackDown to Raw. Damage Control will go to SmackDown to Raw. So bring some new competition to the Raw brand. Kevin Owens will be staying on SmackDown. Kevin Owens, a Grand Slam champion, former Universal champion, a back-to-back WrestleMania Saturday main eventer. So Kevin Owens, those are thing too, I guess, with Stone Cold and that Uso situation. So hey, but we get to this. The former Intercontinental Champion Gunther, who's had been drafted to staying on Raw. Gunther, he went against the New Day's Kofi Xavier Woods. You know that both men will be a part of that King of the Ring tournament, and it'll start next week for the King of the Ring. But Gunther won tonight. Gunther get the win over you know who, Xavier Woods, with that crossface. So Gunther applying the crossface as he did to Xavier Woods. Xavier Woods did not see that coming. Xavier Woods seen reeling the effects of that crossface, and he took that single leg crab. So you know how that went down. But like we said, the King and Queen of the Ring will be coming your way later in May. So we'll see that for a premium live event. They should be calling this pay per view the royalty of the ring. Just mash it up in one. Royalty of the ring, kingdom of the ring, or something like that. That would have made sense, but they want to be equal opportunities. King and queen of the ring. Well, here, I gonna go. But like we said right here, this is the round one draft from Raw. Imperium keeps on Raw. Jay Cargill stays on SmackDown. Kabuki Damage Control moves from SmackDown to Raw, and Kevin Owens moves from stays on SmackDown. Well, we heard earlier Booker T talking about the draft. So he got interrupted by Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre did not like being interrupted. And he got interrupted, all right. Drew McIntyre tried to confront the voice of the voice, the CM Punk. CM Punk came out there to speak his mind. It's like they're playing cat and mouse with each other. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre been wanting to play cat and mouse for a couple months. This whole thing got started. And speaking of, before we get to that, Drew stays on Raw. Drew with his highlights. He's a 3-time world champion, the 2020 Royal Rumble winner, and he declared himself the King of the Ring into the King of the Ring tournament. Drew McIntyre will be declared himself and stuff. So hey, Drew stays and stuff. But we know that CM Punk as well. CM Punk will be staying on Raw. So we will probably see these two butt heads at SummerSlam eventually in Cleveland. 1-on-1. That'll be the main event for SummerSlam. CM Punk and Drew. But there was a word of words throughout the whole entire night. Drew saying that he blames CM Punk for his elbow. And we saw a lot. CM Punk playing cat and mouse. Drew was down there. CM Punk was up there telling him to find him if you want. And living rent free in his head. And CM Punk told Drew that he's gonna talk to him in 5 minutes the way Drew won the world title. I mean, it was embarrassing. I think this is far from the beginning. This is not over between these two. So there's a lot going on. I tell you that right now. Drew and CM Punk. You can tell that match is going to happen at SummerSlam one way or another. We're going to see it at SummerSlam between these two. So hey, we'll see. Speaking of that, the Intercontinental Championship match was online. Bronson Reed went against Sami Zayn and paid for his troubles. Sami got paid. Him and Chad Gable both got laid out by Bronson. We could see a triple threat match between these these three, 1-on-1. We'll see how that's gonna go. When it's gonna be down between Bronson Reed and Sami Zayn and Chad Gable. Well, we saw Liv Morgan. She won her match tonight. Liv won her match over Nia Jax. Nia Jax, this will probably be her last hoorah on the Raw brand. Nia Jax will move to SmackDown. Probably go after Bayley. I'd like to see Nia Jax go after Bayley, but Bayley will have her hands full coming up at Backlash when she defends her championship in a triple threat match against Naomi and Tiffany Stratton at Backlash in France. So we'll see that coming up as well. Speaking of that, what else happened tonight on Raw? A lot happened on Raw. Could we see a face-to-face confrontation between Sheamus and Braun Breaker? Whose yard this is on Raw? But the Undertaker used to say Sheamus coming back and Braun Breaker saying this is his yard. And these two will probably battle each other and beat the holy crap out of each other and stuff. We'll see. Well, this is round 4. We saw the Judgment Day being drafted, staying on Raw. Naomi staying on SmackDown. From NXT, we kind of figured Dragon the Mad Dragon will go to Raw, as Piper Niven and Chelsea Green will move from Raw to SmackDown. So there's a lot of changes coming our way. Even on round 2, we meant to say, we told you about CM Punk staying on Raw, the Pride staying on SmackDown, Braun Strowman staying on Raw. We're moving to Raw. Braun Strowman was drafted to Raw. And say he was on SmackDown recently. Now he's back on Raw, as well as Tiffany Stratton will be on SmackDown. You see a lot. Even in round 5, the New Day stays on Raw. Pretty Deadly moves to stays on SmackDown. Live Rakiria moves from NXT to Raw. Candice Hartwell and Candice LeRae. Indy Hartwell will move to SmackDown. It'll be the same with Candace. She'll be moving with her husband. Um, so with them. So Candace LeRae and Indy Hartwell will be. We can show you right here. Candace and Indy will be moving and staying on SmackDown. Move to SmackDown and stuff. Well, and now we told you that Live Victoria was happy than a bee. She's moving to Raw. So Live Victoria going to Raw. So congratulations to Lyra. But you know one thing, I'll tell you this, Trick Williams, once they get done with Trick Williams, he's gonna next year's draft, he probably move however they're gonna go. Never know. He might get called up next year or sometime later this year. You never know. Well, Rey Mysterio, he knows he's going to be on Raw because we see the feud again with Ray and Dominic. We can see that feud reunite again. We know that Dominic and his teammates, the Judgment Day, they're staying on Raw. So Dominic, staying on Raw. So we'll see that as well as the Ray's team, the LWO, will will move from Raw to SmackDown. So Rey Mysterio coming back to Raw. He was on SmackDown for a long time. So Ray moving back. Also, too, Blair Davenport. She's going to the SmackDown. Blair Davenport. You see right here the Final Testament. Karrion Cross, Scarlett, Paul Ellering, and the Authors of Pain moving from SmackDown to Raw. DII moving to SmackDown. Bronson Reed staying on Raw. Blair Davenport moving to SmackDown. So a lot of new key players heading to new shows and new atmospheres, new platforms down the road. Well, Becky Lynch, she's no stranger to Damage Control. She had fallen at Survivor Series. Damage Control. They're saying they're putting Becky her on her back that hey, they're coming for Becky's Women's World Championship. They could be coming miles away, so we could be seeing it forward and stuff. So, however, that's going to be moving forward and stuff. We'll see. And the main event was this: Damian Priest, the Judgment Day, Finn Balor, and JD McDonough took on Jey Uso. Jey Uso, no one contender for the world title with Andrade and Ricochet. We'll get to a little bit later. Ricochet won a championship. Ricochet, the new Speed champion. Didn't know Ricochet became a new Speed champion, but we'll talk about it a little bit later on Wrestling Hot Topic. Well, they emerged victorious over the Judgment Day after the Judgment Day missed some calls of communication. Jay, Ricochet, and Andrade getting their hands raised in a token of victory, making sure that they're ready to go. So we'll see how this is going to go. But can they get Jey Uso the momentum that he needs and the backlash? That's the question. So we'll have to wait and see about that. All right, that is the Raw Ring Report. Let's move over to the Wrestling Hot Topics. All right, on Wrestling Hot Topics, we talk about this. Darby Allin, the AEW star, announced that he got ran over by a bus in New York City. Darby Allin got ran over by a bus. Darby Allin is recovering from his legs and stuff. Maybe that is a sign from somebody to tell Darby, don't clown my efforts. I think Darby Allin is not here to him, and he wants to do what he wants to do. But hopefully Darby will take heed to that and try to realize, hey, maybe I don't need to climb my efforts and stuff to see what I need to see, hear what I need to hear. So maybe this is probably like a sign for him. So hopefully Darby take heed to that and learn. Well, Kenny Omega, the former AEW champion, acknowledges Roman Reigns, the former Universal Champion of WWE. Kenny Omega said that he wished that he was like had the Roman race S to him. How Roman comes to reign has that era about him, the aura. I think Kenny Omega will be appearing this week on Dynamite into that storyline. We'll see if Kenny Omega, what will he say to the elite, the new elite. They got fired him and stuff like that. So we'll see how that's going to go down eventually. Well, Drew McIntyre has more reasons to be happy. Drew McIntyre has re-signed with WWE, and the person that made the announcement was The Rock. The Rock saying he's a man of his word. Gave Drew a sword for staying in WWE. But I think Drew will have his hands full after we found out that Drew got drafted to Raw tonight. Drew staying on Raw. I think now Drew McIntyre wants to get his hands on CM Punk one way or another. I think Drew's looking forward to that, and we'll see. After Drew wanted to, thought CM Punk was in the cover of what he wanted to be, and I think now we'll see how that's going to go between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk. We know that match is going to happen at SummerSlam. One way or another, we're going to see that match happen at SummerSlam. So we'll see. But Drew McIntyre happy than a lucky charm after he received a sword from The Rock. The Rock told him, "Hey, you won the award, so congratulations on your victory and stuff like that." So we'll see how that's going to go down. Speaking of that, WWE former Intercontinental Champion Gunther has more reasons as well. Gunther said that he credits Triple H for putting him into the bringing him in and stuff from overseas. He didn't want to be working on the Vince, but he did. But he felt like Vince was not going to go further and give him that push that he needed. So, hey, only time will tell on that. So we'll see how that's going to go, and we'll see how that's going to be heading towards that way, and how that's going to go with Gunther, who was one of the longest reigning Intercontinental champions, was dominant tonight, and Gunther showed his dominance as normal like he did tonight. If Gunther continues that winning streak, he could be winning the King of the Ring eventually and become the new King of the Ring and probably earn himself a championship match down the road, probably at Bash of Berlin. Who knows? Speaking of that, WWE and Peacock announced that they will be increasing the prices. Well, if you're paying like $6 or something, you're gonna be boosted up to $2, so it'll be $8 for me with ads. So WWE and Peacock raising up subscription prices, but it's expected. But hey, WWE and Peacock with the raising the prices and stuff for their for the revenue and stuff. So hey, I understand what you gotta do. Sometimes you got to increase prices. Well, look at here. We're hearing reports that Camille, of the former NWA Women's Champion, could be heading towards the AEW. Camille into AEW. So, do we see Camille make her way to AEW? We were thinking she was expected to go sign with WWE and start NXT, but that's not the case. She's going to be signed with AEW. I think Camille will be making a perfect addition to whoever roster to get her name out there. So, who knows how they will go for Camille. So, well, we know this that what else happened? I guess that's all. I think that's it. All right. We talked about Camille and everybody else. All right. We're gonna end the pro wrestling show Raw Ring Report with main event Jey Uso getting the win with his teammates, Andrade and Ricochet. Oh, speaking of Ricochet, we wanted to stay out. We got one more thing. Sorry, folks. Ricochet could be the new speed champion. They did a taping of Ricochet win the championship. Ricochet got a mountain of abs. Look at Ricochet's abs. Ricochet looking ripped and jacked. He's a new speed champion. I think it's sort of like a cruiserweight champion in a way, but Ricochet wins the speed championship. Look for that coming up down the road with Ricochet win the speed championship. Well, we're gonna end that with WWE Speed Champion Ricochet, Jey Uso, the number one contender for the world title, and Andrade with their win and when their hands raised in a token of victory. We know that backlash comes your way from France. You know when. So we'll have predict the outcome for backlash earlier this coming up this week. So look for that coming your way. So, for me being Kendrick Dix saying thank you for watching the WWE Raw Ring Report here on the Pro Wrestling Show. We'll see you tomorrow for the NXT Ring Report. Y'all have a great night. See you later.